Hi, I'm Shane Flail, and this is Russell Flail, Gail Roth, Tyler Flail, Tyler Scott, Dave Vanieri, and Kevin Flynn. Video games have become the biggest media industry today, surpassing movies, music, and printed material combined. With this success, however, there have been countless reports and news stories in the media claiming the negative effects that video games have on our populace. I'm here today to combat those opinions and explain the positive effects video games can have on our society. I will be discussing the various aspects of team building and social skills that people can acquire using this medium. Also, there are various aspects of management and hard moral choices the players force to make. Lastly, I will be discussing how video games today are shaping the world's minds and bodies. As an avid gamer and employee of the gaming store GameStop, I'm constantly bombarded with comments by concerned parents about how video games are negatively affecting their children. Unfortunately, video game propaganda conveys a negative attitude, while I'm constantly informing parents that video games have the ability to be a positive influence in one's life. First, I will be discussing how many of those so-called murder simulators have improved many kids' and adults' social and team building skills. These are games in which you play with 4 people in one room, or nowadays it's more common to find a friend online in a community such as Xbox Live. Both of these scenarios are positive experiences for many people. For instance, while playing with people physically around you, there are very tight bonds made when experiencing something as a group, something akin to going to a movie or seeing a concert. Games like the original Halo title for Microsoft Xbox Live have popularized beating somebody with the butt of your gun and then giving a high five and laughing at the fun you're both having. As I said, a lot of gamers use services like Xbox Live. With this, they have the ability to communicate and have virtually the same living room experience miles away from one another. Lawrence Kuttner and Cheryl Olson surveyed children for their book, Grand Theft Childhood, The Surprising Truth About Violent Games and What Parents Can Do. And they said, when we talk to children, they view video game play as largely a social activity, not as an isolating one. It did more than provide a topic of conversation, provided a structure through multiplayer games in which they practice and improve their verbal communication skills. Recent releases, like Infinity Ward's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, have not only made the experience more personal with statistics to compare and gloat about, but have built people's skills to work as a team and learn to talk and cooperate with complete strangers. The game not only encourages these skills, but will build teamwork abilities by having a group of 8 to 12 people working together for a common cause. Some examples would be coordinating plans to capture a waypoint, working together to return a flag and capture the flag, or simply to just stay alive in the video game world. In addition, Modern Warfare also gives a sense of accomplishment for a lot of people who sometimes feel in the real world they don't get to feel that feeling often. Aside from the social aspect of video games, a lot of games are designed for single player. These games teach different skills like money management. Also, role-playing games are more popular today than ever before. They've become a huge part of the video game industry. These games will let gamers fall into a fantasy world and play the player however they want to play. Often in these games, hard moral choices are forced upon the player with repercussions to their progress. A popular computer game, EA Games' The Sims franchise, lets players design a family from the ground up. The player can choose to be a single, married, swinger, or otherwise, with up to 8 people in a house. In Mark Penske's book, Don't Bother Me, Mom, I'm Learning, how computer and video games are preparing your kids for the 21st century success and how you can help. He describes it as, players learn what it takes to build a life and a lifestyle, from making friends, to partying, to dating, to having kids. They learn how many kinds of lives are potentially available for them to create, both good and bad. When a player starts a family, they are allotted money for use in the game. The player has free range on what to spend it on. With a game like The Sims, one that parodies real life, you must choose wisely and live with the decisions. You can buy a fridge and a bathroom set and your virtual family will be happy and thrive. Or you can waste your money on furniture and paintings, then have a repossessor after you because you couldn't pay your bills. Money management is a very good skill to learn, and it's great to have a game such as this that can teach it. There's also other role-playing games like SimCity and Civilization that task players with controlling and managing resources for entire cities or empires. Some role-playing games today can last anywhere from 15 to 60 hours to complete. A lot of these games force a difficult decision upon the player, which he or she will cope with for the rest of the game. For example, in games like BioWare's Mass Effect, the player's character spends 10 to 15 hours with another character they meet and acquire for their team. In my opinion, this is much longer than any amount of time one spends with a character in a movie or novel. Oftentimes, the player develops